Will appoint City Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges.
Okay.
Your next court date's going to be July the 3rd at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
Bond is $2,500 cash. You have no contact with Ashley. You're not going to go near her residence or workplace, except once with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. No alcohol, illegal drugs, and no acts of domestic violence. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Connolly.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are?
Gabriel Sunrise.
Mr. Sun, I have a citation charging you with disorderly conduct fighting. Alleged occurred there at the jail this morning.
Him, I'll be first.
Well, we'll appoint William Carvin to represent you on these charges. Bond is $250. You do have the, it's a misdemeanor, right? You still got your DOC hold and the JP out of county hold. All right? Court date will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Thank you, Mr. Sunrise.
Thank you, miss.
Your Honor, inmate Gil Mont refused, and so did inmate Delgado Juanito. And Delgado, this is the third time he's refused.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, this is Antea Catalisa from the Pima County Public Defender's Office.
Yes.
Were you planning to continue Delgado for a fourth time? Because I think it looks like he has a hold and the state's just asking for $1,000 for time credit. Are we able to waive his appearance this evening?
We'll talk about that when we don't have another defendant in the chair.
Okay.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shea, and you, sir, are?
Sarah Middleton?
Mr. Dellison, in a complaint charging you with second-degree burglary and theft of means of transportation alleged to have occurred on or about the 6th of December of last year. Will appoint Kristen Salter to represent you on these charges, and that either counsel wish to be heard on conditions.
Nothing further from the state, Judge.
Your Honor, I would ask for a release on his own recognizance as recommended by pretrial. The state's asking for a very low bond. He's low on the NCAA scale. And this case seemed to have occurred over a year ago, it seems, or I guess 12/6, as you mentioned. So I would ask for his release.
It was about 6 months ago, and he's got another hold, so
Does he have a? Okay,
Yes.
yes.
He
all
is.
right.
It's $50,000 for a separate case.
I see. Okay. Then yes, I would agree with the low bond amount given the hold, and that way he can earn time credit.
He's got a CMC scheduled for July 24th. So we'll hold you on $1,000 bond on this and set a preliminary hearing date of July the 5th at 1:30. You're not to have contact with the alleged victim. You're not to go to within 2 blocks of the victim's residence or workplace. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Dulston. So you're waiving Mr. Delgado's presence, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Although if he's SMART court eligible, maybe we can continue it so he can speak with an attorney about SMART.
He is smart court eligible.
Okay, then I would just move to continue.
Okay. Good evening, I'm Judge Shane, and you are?
Matthew Graffio.
Mr. Graffio, the citation here charging you with domestic violence, disorderly conduct, alleged, or excuse me, domestic violence, criminal damage. Your next court date is going to be July the 25th. That's a month from today at 8:30 in the morning. You're going to be released on your signature and promise to appear on certain other conditions. You
Okay.
cannot have any contact with your father or Belle. Do you understand that?
Yes. All my belongings are at my father's house.
Let me finish. You're not to go to their residence except with law enforcement to pick up your belongings.
Okay. My rights were never read to me.
Well, that's only a problem if they asked you questions that you answered.
Okay.
Okay? So no alcohol, no drugs, no acts of domestic violence, and no contact with your father or Belle. You don't go to their residence except with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. And you see about obtaining behavioral health assessment and beginning any recommended treatment. You understand that?
Yes.
Right? Thank you, Mr. Graffio. Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are?
Tyree Hayes, bro.
We are missing the attorney list for jurisdictions other than city and JP Court? Thank you. I've got an empty sleeve. Thank you, ma'am. We'll appoint Craig Becker to represent you on these charges. Warrant here out of Sarita charging you with domestic violence assault, domestic violence criminal damage, and domestic violence disorderly conduct. Alleged occurred on November 23rd of 2021. Looks like you were supposed to be in court in perhaps June of 2022. So we're appointing Craig Becker to represent you. Your next court date is July the 2nd. That is a week from today at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Your bond is $1,000. You do have those other holds in any event. You need to abide by any previous conditions of release, which might include no contact or no return, but also no alcohol and no acts of domestic violence. And I suggest you don't discuss the matter with anyone except your attorney. Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
I didn't understand. What are the cases?
The cases are some domestic violence cases from November of 2021 in Sarita.
Yes, ma'am. I thought I went to court on those cases, though.
Apparently, if you did, you didn't make all your court dates, and it certainly didn't get resolved. So that's what's going on now.
And I have a bail of $1,000. I don't because is it
You've got an adult $1,000 bond. You've got an adult probation hold. Pardon me? No,
What
I
is
did not
that?
say cash.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm sorry. And a probation hold.
Yes.
So that can't get resolved right now.
That's correct.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shad, and you, sir, are
Austin Keith.
Mr. Keith. I have quite a number of things here for you. We'll start with a warrant out of Pima County Justice Court. Excuse me, let's start with Maricopa County, not Marana City Court. Criminal litigation, possession of on and failure to appear. Your next court date on this matter will be tomorrow at noon. Janet Alsher will be appointed to represent you, and your bond is $250 on this matter alone. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Then I have a warrant out of Youngtown Municipal Court. Will show you to appear on possession of marijuana or possession of paraphernalia. It did its thing and changed everything. Yep, so I need, the out court date for Youngtown. Okay. Bond on this is also $250. They will have 24 hours after you're released on all of your local holds to make arrangements to pick you up. And a total of 72 hours to actually pick you up. If they don't, then you need to, so I'm going to move that court date. then you'll be released and you need to be in the Youngtown Municipal Court on July 22nd at 2 o'clock. Do you understand that? And then we have a warrant out of Pima County Justice Court. For disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace, littering and polluting. But on this will also be $250. We'll appoint Jill Gookin to represent you. The court date on this is set for tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I'm noting that you've got a Miranda court at noon, so they'll adjust that as needed. I'm getting weird messages too. Then I have a whole stack of warrants here out of Tucson City Court. I've got current charges for possession of paraphernalia. Charges for criminal trespass, criminal damage, and resisting arrest on November 27th of 2021. And 9449 East Peruvian Hills, Monmouth failures to appear, criminal trespass in a residential yard on November 27th of 2021, 2220 East Windset. Charges for possession of paraphernalia go back to May of 2017, along with failures to appear. Charges for misuse of an air gun or slingshot, September 29th of 2017, along with multiple failures to appear. Charged for criminal trespass on September 10th of 2023, along with failure to appear. That's 5515 East Grand. And charges for criminal trespass on August the 8th of 2023. Along with failures to appear. We'll appoint City Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. Bond is $250. If you post the bond, your court date is July 24th at 2:30 in the afternoon. If you haven't posted the bond, you'll be seen on July 5th at about 1:45. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, no contact with any of the victims. You don't go within 3 blocks of Colton Speedway. You don't go to 9449 East Berrien Hills, 2220 East Winsett, or 5515 East Grant. And if you're out of custody, substance abuse assessment and treatment. Do you understand that? Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Oliver, you're next.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are?
Raymond Antonio Oliver.
Mr. Alvarez, I have citations charging you with disorderly conduct, domestic violence, 2 counts, and 1 count of domestic violence threats.
That was only criminal damage. Yes.
That's not what I have.
I never did that.
You're Anthony Avalos, correct?
No, Anthony, I'm not Anthony Avalos. I'm Raymond Antonio Oliver.
Oh. Sorry, missing a file.
It's okay, man. She scared me because I didn't do that.
All right.
I really did.
Yeah, what we have here is charges from December for criminal damage and disorderly conduct. And
No,
apparently,
it's only criminal damage. It says on my paper, on my court paper, I only have criminal damage on it. My name
no,
is
it's
Raymond.
criminal damage and disorderly conduct. They just booked you on just the 1 charge, but there's 2 charges.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Miss. I didn't see that one on my court paper.
Cassidy, there's a $24.99 on this. Do we want to do that? No, on the warrant. Oliver. Yes. Just tell me what it is and I'll do it. Yes.
I'm sorry, the 26th.
All right, we'll appoint Douglas Taylor to represent you on these charges. Judge Bisqueta has requested a $2,499 bond. Your court date will be at 9:30 tomorrow morning. All right, thank you, Mr. Oliver.
Welcome.
All of those. Put the maroon curve back into the junction too.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are?
Anthony Avalos.
Mr. Al, citation charging 2 counts of domestic violence disorderly conduct and 1 count of domestic violence threats. Your next court date on this is going to be July 22nd at 2:30 in the afternoon in the Tucson City Court. Do you understand that you need to appear at that time?
Yes, Your Honor.
You'll be released on these charges on certain conditions. Absolutely no alcohol. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
No acts of domestic violence, no contact with your grandparents. You don't go back to their residence except once with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You possess no gasoline or fire starting implements. And you need to contact your pretrial services caseworker tomorrow. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Avalos.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Bravo.
And has adult probation placed a hold?
Yes.
Yes.
Citations here charging you with domestic violence, disorderly conduct, domestic violence assault, domestic violence and lawful imprisonment. Alleged to occurred earlier today.
Not today, Your Honor. It was on the second, I believe.
Yeah, 2nd of May, it looks like, if I look in another place. And additional charges of criminal trespass alleged to have occurred earlier today.
Yes.
Will appoint City Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. Bond is $500. Your next court date will be next Wednesday at 1:30. No acts of domestic violence, no contact with Ms. Robinson. You don't go near her residence except with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. And you don't go back to 1365 West Grant. You understand that?
Your Honor, with the bond, I'm actually homeless. I won't be able to afford that. Is there any way?
You've got an adult probation hold.
I know, but, I have court tomorrow for, probation. Is there any way that we can have that bond dropped so then I can actually go? Because I actually paid for 4 nights at a hotel, at Super 8.
Adult
The last,
probation is aware that you're in custody.
All
All right?
thank you.
Thank you.
Look at this.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are?
Ma'am. Ma'am.
There.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are?
Rosa Fuentes.
Ms. Fuentes. Citations charging you with domestic violence, violation of court order, and possession of paraphernalia. Alleged to have occurred this morning, last night and this morning. If I were to release you, would you be able to abide by orders to not go anywhere near your father's address
Yes, Your Honor.
and not to possess any illegal drugs or paraphernalia
Yes, Your Honor.
to get yourself into some treatment?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to give you a chance. You show up in Tucson City Court on July 25th at 9 o'clock in the morning. In the meantime, you have no contact with your father. You don't go near his residence. And you get yourself into some substance abuse treatment. Do you understand that?
I understand. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Fuentes.
Thank you.
Mr. Gratz, if you'll check the chat, please. Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are?
Dennis Johnson.
Ms. Johnson, I have a number of things here for you. The current charges for domestic violence assault and possession of paraphernalia. I also have charges from February the 19th, charging you with domestic violence assault, domestic violence disorderly conduct. It looks like we also have failures to appear. Also charges for criminal trespass, April the 17th, along with failures to appear. Charged for shoplifting and failure to appear from May 19th of this year. Charges for shoplifting, criminal trespass, and disorderly conduct, February 6th of this year. Failures to appear. Charges for possession of paraphernalia from May 5th of last year. Failures to appear. Criminal trespass, June the 8th of last year. Failures to appear. Most of these have occurred in the vicinity of 550 West Ajo. We're going to appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. Hold you on a $500 bond on the most recent charges. Your next court date in or out of custody is July the 3rd at 1:30. In the meantime, you'd have no contact with Julia Vasquez. You're not to go within 3 blocks of 550 West Ajo or to Miss Vasquez, near Miss Vasquez's residence. Also, if you're out of custody, behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment. Do you understand that? Yes. Thank you.
Eldred.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shea, and you are?
Ryan Melgren.
Minister, citations charging you with domestic violence, disorderly conduct, domestic violence, criminal damage, and domestic violence assault. Alleged to have occurred earlier today. Your next court date is going to be the 6th of August at 1:30 in the afternoon. Conditions of release, no alcohol, illegal drugs, and no acts of domestic violence. Do you understand that?
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
Yes.
before we begin the felonies, I want you to know that Hagan is hard of hearing or deaf, and she needs an ASL interpreter.
We
I
have
don't
an
know.
interpreter.
Okay, great.
Martinez. Vote. Then we'll reiterate it.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shea, and you, sir, are?
I'm Manuel Martinez.
Minister, and did counsel wish to waive reading?
Yes, please.
Minister, will appoint the public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I know that you usually let counsel know if you're inclined to follow the recommendation of pretrial. Is
And
that
I'd like to hear argument on this one.
okay? I would, just point out that he has no prior convictions, and it does appear that he's low on the NCA and FTA scales. His father verified that he's a lifelong resident. He's 26 years old. He lives with his father and has been at that same residence for 13 years. There are no minors at that residence, and he maintains full-time employment. His father is providing him with the support that he needs to make it to his court dates. I would ask that he just be released to pretrial services. If the court is inclined to set a bond, I would just ask for a low bond, lower than the amount that the state is requesting, somewhere in the range of $10,000.
Preliminary hearing date's going to be July the 5th at 1:30.
Bond is
Bond is $25,000. If you post the bond, then you'll be distributed of pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs, so participant in monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial services. You won't have any contact with any minors. You won't go to any schools, parks, daycares, or anywhere else that minors congregate. And you will not use the internet, period. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Your Honor, this is a Spanish speaker. May the interpreter be excused? I don't have any Spanish speakers on my list.
Yes, you may.
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Your
Thank you so
Honor.
much, Your Honor.
Interpreter
Thank you.
is disconnected.
All of you, everybody get up. Come on, chair. Around the other way. Back.
All the other papers, right? They gave me. So, Dr. needs to come here.
What am I doing after this?
Can't hear you, know.
I know, I'm talking to you. Oh.
Right.
Sir,
That's the same thing.
no, it's not.
Okay. It's all the rest of it. What's all the different? That's what to do. I remember early.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Jeremy Patansis.
Mr. Betances. I have a number of warrants here for you. I have warrants out of Pima County Superior Court. Possession of dangerous drug, possession of paraphernalia alleged occurred on October 5th of 2022. Possession of dangerous drug, possession of drug for sale, possession of paraphernalia November 4th of 2022. Possession of dangerous drug, possession of paraphernalia on May the 11th of 2024. We'll set an arraignment date for July 2nd at 1:30 in Pima County Superior Court. Appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges. And did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Nothing further from the state, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor. So, Mr. Betances has provided me with paperwork here showing that he was released on his own recognizance on the three Pima County Superior Court cases on May 12th. And then he was sent up to Maricopa County to take care of whatever that matter was. And he may have missed some court while he was up there. And at that time he was placed on probation. So he's sort of back in front of you on these charges that he had been seen initially for back on May 12th. And at the time he'd been released on his own recognizance. So I would ask that he be released to pretrial services. If the court is inclined to set a bond, I would ask just for a low bond to run concurrent on all three cases, really in the amount of $2,000. Please.
All right, with regard to the charges from October 5th of 2022.
Johnson.
And on that matter will be $1,000. With regard to the charges from November the 4th of 2022. Bond on that will be $2,500. And the charges from May the 11th will be $500. If you post the bond, you'll be released to pretrial services under their enhanced supervision program, which will include behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment.
Oh, no.
Then we have two warrants out of Pima County Justice Court. Charges from February 24th of 2022 for false reporting to law enforcement, failing to show a driver's license, failures to appear on April 26th of 2022 and June 14th of 2024. And charges for domestic violence, threats, intimidation, and domestic violence disorderly conduct. Alleged to occur on September 2nd of 2022. Looks like failures to appear as well. Your next court date on these will be June the 26th. That's tomorrow at 1 o'clock. William Parvin is wanting to represent you on these charges, and the bond is $100.
Let me see.
Covered all your cases, Mr. Batanzas.
Oh, we were just waiting to be excused.
Okay.
Thank you.
The listing is at the hospital.
Okay. Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Stockton Earl Davis.
Mr. Davis, in a complaint charging you with aggravated assault on a peace officer and aggravated assault controlling an officer's weapon or tool. We'll appoint legal defender's office to represent you on these charges. And did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Nothing further from the state, Judge.
No, Your Honor, given the DOC hold, we'll go with the state's low recommendation.
All right, bond will be $2,500 then. Preliminary hearing is July 5th at 1:30. Post the bond, you'll be distributed pretrial services, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and no firearms or weapons. Noting that you do have a DOC hold.
Well, the DOC still come get me.
Are we excused?
Yes.
Yes, he is excused. Thank you, Mr. Davis. He's got a co-defendant? Okay, that doesn't make much sense, given the charges, but okay.
They have the same agents. Separate.
Doesn't make much sense to me. Could be. What's the co-defendant's name? No, you're giving me the name. I can look it up on pre-trial. Saves paper. Okay, I'll look it up.
And Your Honor, this is our ASL.
Okay. I'm not sure if you can see me.
No, we can't.
No, I can't see. Your camera's not, there we go. That's helpful.
Can you make it, okay, you can see me.
Okay. Good evening, I'm Judge Shayette.
She's just saying she has Usher syndrome, which is an eye problem, and she's asking me if I could sign smaller. Just making sure she can see me. Needs more light. Okay, 1 second. That better? Okay, all right. I think we're ready now.
All right. Good evening, I'm Judge Shayette, and you are?
Mariah, and my last name is Pagan, Pagan.
Ms. Pagan, I have a warrant here. Charging you with aggravated assault. Three counts alleged to have occurred on or about September the 18th of last year. Will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. And did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
No, Your Honor.
You're going to be released to the third-party custody of pretrial services. You'll participate in monitoring and treatment under their supervision. You will possess no firearms or weapons. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Your next court date is July the 2nd. That's a week from today at 1:30 in the afternoon in the Pima County Superior Court. Do you understand that you must be present at that time?
Yes. Do I understand? Could you say that last question, please?
Do you understand that you must be present for your court hearing on July the 2nd at 1:30 here in the Pima County Superior Court?
Yeah, I do. I understand.
And I'd suggest you not discuss this matter with anyone except your attorney.
wants to really guys.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Payne.
I have a question, Your
Okay.
Honor. Thank you. Can you print the instructions and the information, because this is my first experience with a criminal, and I'm not sure of the rules or anything, and I want to follow, make sure I do everything I'm supposed to and show up on time. So will I get all this information printed so I have it?
Yes, you will.
Okay, all right, and another question, if I may? So will the public defender contact me, and do you know how that works? Or are you gonna give me the public defender's phone number and then I contact them? How does that work?
The person sitting next to you is a public defender, and she can help you with that.
She has the phone number here and she'll get additional paperwork.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right, thank you.
And she's excused, correct?
Yes.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
You may. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Obviously,
Make sure you stand up, okay?
I'm going through a withdrawal right now. I keep all that.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Andrew Michael Rivera.
Mr. Rivera. First thing I have for you is a warrant out of Pima County Superior Court charging you with possession of dangerous drug and possession of paraphernalia alleged to be occurred on or about April the 9th of this year. We will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges. Set an arraignment date for July the 2nd at 1:30. And did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions of release on this charge?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
No, Your Honor, I think that the state's low bond recommendations are appropriate.
And Mr. Terrace, this is eligible for a smart hearing, is that correct, or is that just on the new charges?
Just on the new charges, Judge.
Okay. Bond on this is,
I had some more report on that one.
Just listen. Just listen. We'll talk, but just listen.
well, then it may be that you had smart court and didn't appear, and that's what got it started.
Don't.
So your court date is July 2nd at 1:30. Your bond is $500. If you post the bond, you'll be entitled to pretrial services under their enhanced supervision program, which will include behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment, no alcohol and illegal drugs. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Can we have New interim complaint charging with possession of dangerous drugs and possession of paraphernalia. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on this as well. And did either council wish to be heard on conditions?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
No, Your Honor, again, the low bond the state's recommending is fine.
Bond on this will also be $500. Post the bond, he'll be in a certificate of pretrial services enhanced supervision program. You do have a smart court hearing though on this on July the 2nd at 9 a.m. And we have charges from April the 9th. Possession of paraphernalia, failing to provide true name. We'll appoint Jill Gookin to represent you on these charges. Court date tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Bond is $100. And again, behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment. And I have warrants out of Tucson City Court. I have a number of files here for you out of Tucson City Court. Charges from, looks like May the 10th for shoplifting, Home Depot, criminal trespass and possession of paraphernalia. Charges from today, charging you with possession of paraphernalia. Charges from November 2nd of last year for possession of paraphernalia and failures to appear. And charges for criminal trespass on December the 13th of 2023 and failure to appear. We'll appoint City Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. Bond will be $250. Next court date will be July the 5th at 1:45. If you're out of custody, court date will be July 29th at 9. You don't go to Home Depot to 1017 North 7th. And again, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and behavioral health assessment and treatment.
Your Honor, was there a preliminary hearing date set on the new felony matter?
July the 5th at 1:30.
Okay, thank you.
Did I miss it?
Robinson.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shane, and you are?
Raina Robinson.
Ms. Robbins. Interim complaint here charging possession of narcotic paraphernalia, possession of narcotic drugs, possession of dangerous drugs, possession of narcotic drugs for sale. Will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
No, Your Honor, we're just asking the court to follow pretrial recommendation as well as the state's release it to pretrial.
All right, preliminary hearing date is going to be July the 15th at 1:30 in the afternoon. You're going to be released to the third-party custody of pretrial services under their enhanced supervision program, which will include no alcohol or illegal drugs, participation in behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment. Do you understand that? Do you understand that?
Yes, do you understand? You need to answer the judge.
What if I don't want to get released?
Your Honor, 1 sec. Your Honor, Mrs. Robinson is concerned about her sobriety, and she's asking that a low bond be set since she cannot afford anything. She does not, I suppose, trust herself if she is released, and she wants to be set up for success.
Is there anywhere for me to go live? Because I just go straight to the street from here.
I've got an idea. I can set it up so that you're not released until like 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And what you will do is you will walk out the door of the jail. And you'll contact pretrial services, but you'll also go to the transition center. And they can help you.
It's right next door.
Okay.
You know, or you can sit there in the jail. But I think transition center will help you If you're motivated, the transition center can certainly help you get on the right track and not be there in the jail.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Did you have a misdemeanor charge for sheer misdemeanor?
And the misdemeanor charge, I'll give you, your court date on that is July the 29th at 9.
That in city court?
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, behavioral health assessment and treatment, and you don't go back to 2660 North Algernon. Else.
Just because I'm like withdrawing, so you're going to be like dead tomorrow.
Your Honor, is she excused?
Yes, she is.
Okay, thank you.
She'll be held until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you.
Good night. See you next week.
And Your Honor, have a good night.
Thanks, you too.